Larry, amen. Go on there. And a bunch of the SWAT guys come out too. So you got the stuff like that makes you look younger.
I also want to thank City, County, and Broomfield. I want to thank Tom Dealin, who I saw out there working traffic this morning, the police department, the North Metro Fire and Rescue Group. I also want to give special recognition to our hometown paper, the Broomfield Enterprise and its parent, the Boulder Daily Camera. They gave excellent media coverage, and I understand we have twice as many participants this year. So thank you so much for that publicity. You couldn't do an event like this without some great publicity. And I also see another name here this year, and that is our retired police chief, John O'Hare, fire chief, I'm sorry. Now it's with great pleasure I get to introduce a gentleman who was a personal hero of mine. I remember the 1972 Olympics as if it was yesterday, but it was 39 years ago. In 1972, Frank won the gold medal for the marathon. And I didn't know until I read my notes today that not only did he win, he won by 2 minutes. And that is overwhelming when you think about it. He went on to win the silver medal in 1976, and anybody who trains knows that training for 4 years is pretty phenomenal, particularly long distance running. In all, he has won 24-time, he's been a 24-time national champion. And he earned the Sullivan Award as the nation's top amateur athlete. And he's using his soul, he says, to spread the message. The most precious gift we have is our kids and their health. So without further ado, let me introduce our special guest today and the sponsor of this race, Frank Shorter.
Thank you, Mayor Quinn. This is great. Point of order here, though, you know, there's always truth in advertising, and that I went to Yale as an undergrad, so I have an undergraduate degree from Yale, but I don't have a law degree from there. I went to the University of Florida. I got bored. I was down there training, and the law school was only 200 yards away from the little tiny room I was living in at the track, and so I said, what the heck, I'll go to law school. So I went to law school while I was training for the 72 Olympics. Thanks to everybody for coming out. I mean, as Mayor Quinn said, who would have thought, when I was lying in bed last night listening to the rain and realizing that it didn't really sound like rain, that we were going to be out here today like this. But this is why we live here. And these kind of events, I'll tell you from having been involved in the Boulder right from the startup, this is the world's longest checklist, and it doesn't happen without people like the Broomfield Rotary. Of course, Chris has got my script here, the Healthy Learning Path, a nonprofit that empowers children by teaching wellness strategies for success in health, learning, and life. And the objective is so these kids can reach their full potential. How this happens? Well, a very good illustration is you take a bunch of fresh vegetables, you put it in front of a bunch of kindergartners, give them some dull knives to chop it up, and guess what they do? They eat it! It's not just finger painting anymore in kindergarten. And I think that really kind of outlines where it really begins with Healthy Learning Paths. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the students from Emerald Preschool and Elementary in Broomfield who will sing the national anthem.
I'm gonna nibble in the bacon. It's not mine. Well, they get it.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose fast stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there.
That was great.
There we go. Be mindful of your feet, man.
Graduates, you Eagles, walking for Alex. Let's give it up.
Number 444. Mark Bernstein, our number 1 finisher. Carl Meese, 2nd place. David Lithoff, 50 years old, 1822. First woman coming through, 496. Kara Ford, 32 years old, 1920. Later. All right. Newton, 11. Xander Renz, 11. Lutter. Let's yell. Minutes at the same starting point as the 5K. So Alex's 1K. The Alex 1K is going to we have the overall medal. So right now, I would like to introduce Dr. Eric Christensen. He's a family medicine physician here, and he'll speak a little bit about Alex's walk. Dr. Christensen?
So I'm here to tell you briefly about meningococcal disease and how you can protect yourself and your family. This is an infection that unfortunately took the life of Alexander Walsh far too early in life. His sister Elise will tell you a little bit about Alex, whom we honor today with the Alex's 1K walk. Elise?
Thank you guys all for coming. This is incredible. I'm so happy about the turnout, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my brother. I feel like he was an inspiration to many, and seeing all of your faces, it kind of makes me realize that he might have been. Someone once asked my brother what his goal was in life, and he said, to change the world. Seeing you all today makes me realize all the lives that he impacted, and hopefully he can save some as well. I could go on for years about what he accomplished, but instead I created a formula with 4 words that kind of explain this. The first one is life. More simply put, he loved to live life to the fullest, and always told me, among others, to live life without regret, because life is too short, and it should always be appreciated. The second word is offer. My brother would offer the shirt off his back, or in some cases, the cleats off his feet, which he often did for soccer. He traveled all over the world with my parents and I. We went to Mexico yearly, and each year my parents would take us to some not so fortunate places so that they could show us how lucky we are. And as a result of that, my brother changed his life and gave more than took. The third word is value. He always stood hard by his values of faith, family, friends, and by the one he loved, Emily. The fourth word was equality. My brother did not believe in judgment or teasing at any scale, and thought that each individual was a gem that had something to offer. He would look for the good in people, and would stand up against any bullies. Mother Teresa once said, "I have found the paradox that if you love until it hurts, there can be no more hurt, but only love." My brother's formula, if you break down the first letter of each of the four words, L of life, O from offer, V from values, and E from equality, comes down to love. My brother's way of changing the world will never die. And I hope today that you will walk or have walked with these thoughts of inspiration, and hopefully we can save some lives. Thank you all for coming today, and a special thanks to Chris Marchioni.
Take this a little bit further, and that is because that's what the Welches want, is to take this and extend it to make something good out of a tragedy. And that something good is to teach people about what is this disease and how can we prevent it. So meningococcal disease is a very serious bacterial infection. It can affect the spinal fluid, that's called meningitis, or spread throughout the bloodstream, and that's called sepsis. It's spread person-to-person contact through respiratory droplets or saliva, and often in close or prolonged contact. So that's why college dorms, military barracks are high-risk places for this.
First place, Cameron Peterson, 12 years old, from Boulder, 21:51. Second place, Julie Litoff from Louisville, 23:32. And in first place, Lara Delka from Westminster, 23:09. David Litoff from Louisville, 18:22.
Goal setting.